Hi everyone. Today we are going to talk about WeDeploy. And to talk about WeDeploy, I have to talk about Internet of Things. Internet of Things has changed much about the world we live in. From the way we drive to how we make purchases. It's changing everywhere. It's sophisticated devices embedded in different hardwares, cars, homes, everywhere. And this connects to some platform in the cloud. And how this works? How these devices work together with this platform. So WeDeploy came to try to you as a business to improve your company on this. From industries to car traffic, to health devices, to any kind of things that you want to build with this modern platform, you have to think, how do I connect all these devices? Let's say I have hundreds of devices send information to somewhere. It's very complicated. How do you talk to this Internet of Things platform? It's not an easy job, and Liferay is here to try to help you with this. And after that, you have to collect this data and generate UIs for this and so on. So give me a better example. Imagine you are driving your car, and the check engine light goes on. So you can say, I don't know what's going on. This is a modern car. I have IoT device embedded, but let's understand how it works. So your car has this chip connected to the engine. This information is collected, and it could monitor other parts, like the wheel and whatever else on your car. When it detects an error, this message is sent to a hub, and through a 4G or 3G connection, it's sent to the platform with the protocol you prefer. And how WeDeploy helps you in this? How your business can go into this kind of business without spending too much money. But let's say now your company grow, you need security, you need to cipher your data, you need to make sure everything is connected properly, and over time, you need to make sure your data is saved and stored properly in the cloud or on your on-premise services. So it's not a simple job. And we are used to it because we think about Amazon, Google Cloud, and all that providers that give me server virtualization. And server virtualization is very nice. It was a 10-year goal things to be fixed. Like, I want a computer. Why should you buy a hardware? Why should you buy a computer yourself, build yourself, hire the people yourself? And then Amazon gave you a UI that you go, click, and you have a computer, right? So this is called server virtualization. And it's basically get one hardware and split this hardware in other isolated virtual environments. Pretty cool. Very powerful. I can deploy multiple websites to the same computer. Very nice. You can hire a team. This team can keep maintaining it, and then you have a problem, you talk to them. You grow your website, you have to hire more people, you have to buy more hardwares. And it's still cheaper because you are sharing the same hardware. It's faster than buying multiple hardware, and it's environment friendly because you are not throwing away a lot of old hardware in the nature. But it's done. This is 10 years ago job. Things are changing, and we want to change this with WeDeploy. Cloud computing is what we want to reach, not only server virtualization. And what cloud computing is? The National Institute and Standards and Technology from the US, they define cloud computing as a model to enable ubiquitous, convenient, on-demand network access to a shared pool of configurable computing resources. And this is a pretty complicated and a little bit outdated definition, but it is still valid. But why it's outdated? Because to truly deploy a cloud, you need more than that. You need more than just configurable resources. You need three characteristics that we want to provide you with WeDeploy. One is rapid elasticity. Second is composition. And third is aggregation. Okay, what is this? So imagine you buy a car. It's easy to tell, as an engineer or a consumer, I need a car. I don't go to the store and say, I want an engine, a wheel, a door, a light. You buy a car. You get one object, car, defined by other objects, and then you say, in an easy way. And then this composition is called part of your object defines a new object. Okay, so that's what composition is. Aggregation. You say, okay, I have a lot of trees of eucalyptus. That's too much complicated, but I can say I have a forest of eucalyptus. And it's easier to talk. This is called aggregation. Okay, this is not new. All of you here, most of you actually are developers, and you are building software for years using object-oriented software. And this definition from this very famous book, Gang of Four, defines that your software should be able to be composed and aggregated in an easy way. But that's applied everywhere and it helped your business a lot. Why not this helps your business in the infrastructure level as well, not only on software? It goes beyond the technology you are using, goes beyond the language. It's a theory that is applied to another level. So that's what WeDeploy wants to solve. Other characteristics is that your company is very used to spend money in hardware. It's called CAPEX, capital expenditure. You buy hardware, this becomes an asset of your company, and then it goes out, goes old, you have to throw away, buy a new one. And you have a lot of headaches with this. Why don't change your operations to OPEX? That is a lot less stressful. So you don't need to figure out what's going on. You just call someone go and fix the problem, they launch a new server, container, whatever it is, and that's up. Your website is ready again. So none of these things are provided by server virtualization. You need more than that. You need some platform or some software, some application server, whatever it is, that can combine and give you this aggregation, rapid elasticity, composition into the infrastructure plus software. And this applies to modularization. We are applying this a lot of investments in NodeGH, which is a very good isolation in the software and the Java level, if your business fits with this. But what if your company has other teams, NodeJS developers, Go developers, JavaScript developers, HTML and designers? Why can't they deploy their applications? Why they need to be a Java developer? So we believe that when we deploy, you can still fulfill all these business requirements for Java, OSGI, Liferay, and go beyond that with open these possibilities for other levels of people. So that's why we created WeDeploy. You can go now, WeDeploy.com, sign up. Make sure you sign up because we're going to send emails, information. So if you are curious about to see how this relates to Liferay, make sure you create your account. It's very easy. Just click a button and you are going to be there. And what is WeDeploy? Yesterday's talks about WeDeploy, we defined that WeDeploy is a cloud platform for developers, right? Okay, but why? Because we believe developers, they don't need to spend time configuring network, software, and all that stuff. They need to build applications, build software, build APIs. They need to focus on what is important. That's why we want to give you all these initial steps to speed up your development. So let's say we want to create an app, or let's say you have a business and some startup called you and say, I need a supermarket for my startup company. It's a pretty cool company, I sell organic food, whatever. And then what do you say? I need to set up my servers, I need to configure tables, SQL, passwords, OAuth, authentication to Facebook, Google. I need to make sure the server is available. I need to scale the server in case the startup grows. I need to set up SMTP servers, HTTPS, blah, 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 all that stuff all and over again. And this is a lot of work. Why should you repeat that? And this usually takes 6 months to get your project running in the initial phase. But with WeDeploy, we want to change that. We want to give pieces that you can compose in the infrastructure and services level, like little blocks of Lego. And we want to change this 6 months effort to a day. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And this is possible because the built-in functionality. For example, first thing you have to do, you guys, most of you already saw how to create a project in Zeno's talk yesterday. But just to refresh your memory, you go to the dashboard, sign up, that's all you see, that's WeDeploy. You have a dashboard that you go, and then you can create a project. Let's create the supermarket project here. I just type supermarket. In a few seconds, it's going to create the project in the cloud. And you can think of, okay, I don't understand why this is nice. Why having a WeDeploy.io domain is good. You just created a computer in the cloud that will give you all the pre-set up security and everything in the platform. So you have the project. Your project is empty, of course. You just created and you allocated the domain on the internet. How do we start putting information inside your supermarket? Okay, let's define a team. I want to have a database. I want to have a HTML view for my supermarket. Fine, let's see. And real time, okay. You need to add services. First, database. Nobody does anything without data for real applications like a supermarket. How do you do a database in WeDeploy? We provide you a catalog of services. You can go there and you see you have plenty of it, and then you have data. You just click data, you define the ID of your data endpoint, and then install it. You select the version, install it, That's it. Few seconds, you just installed and connected a database to your project. Okay, some people could be asking, I don't understand still how this is composing my app. Let's keep going. I want to start creating my HTML and digesting, saving, reading this data. Very easy. If you are using web, include API client, call few lines of JavaScript, that's all. If you run this code, this is actually going to save data from your view, HTML, into the cloud. Let's take a look on a quick demo about this. Saving data and reading data in real time. Most of you saw yesterday this demo called WhatsApp. It's a pretty good demo that, where is it? Here, okay. Oops. So what's the idea of this demo? This is an HTML page, right, that I type some data here. Hello. And then this data is stored in the cloud in real time. But I want to get my mobile phone and receive messages. If you go to this WhatsApp WeDeploy.io, you will receive message. How do you do that? How I can get my phone, open the same website, WhatsApp.wedeploy.io, and type a message here, hello, and then when I save it, this is there. This is propagated in real time with 5 lines of code. Without WeDeploy, it takes months or several months, like a semester or a year to do this properly and scale this properly. So that's one of the things of our database layer. We want to give you a layer that you can save data in real time, you can query data in real time, and you can just think about connecting your clients, mobile phone, web, watch, any kind of IoT device into these APIs. Okay, this is just one service. Let's keep going. Now I need to inject content on my website, not only data. I go there again to the same catalog, type a name for my public part that I'm going to inject HTML, images, files, whatever I want, videos. And then now I have database and I have a folder that I can put my HTML. Fine. Now my site is not empty anymore. I have whatever I pushed inside it. I need to send a mail. Again, go to the dashboard, click email to send your products. When you finish your purchase, send to the people. Email, then you have also a very thin layer that you installed and compose your application. Now you have data, public, and email, how to call it, few lines of code, or doing HTTP requests, and again, you send an email. Authentication, very nice. I need to be able to authenticate to Google because this is a modern website. I need people from Facebook, Twitter, Google to just click a button and log in. This is actually a very complicated thing to do because you need to implement an auth2 API. You need to add providers. You need to have a database of users that identify the profile between the Twitter, Google, and the WeDeploy or your app profile. So we already handled all that for you in a very easy way. To sign and to post a user, again, few lines of code, but to do auth, how is that going? So this is an example of the dashboard. If I click a button, this is going to redirect me to GitHub, log me in, create my account, and go back. How do you do that? How do you do this flow? Very easy. You define your authentication that you just started, set the GitHub or Facebook, the scope you want, and sign in with redirect. When you call this method, your page will redirect, people will sign up, and you will go back. That's all you need. 5 lines of code. If you go to the mobile phone, we have a similar API for Android, iOS, and so on. Let's keep going and understand a little bit a summary of what we just did. We created a database, a hosting, an email, and auth. We are composing warehouse, and those compositions are my application. It's a little bit different from what I'm used to, because I usually do paths, I do other kind of things, but in WeDeploy, you compose little isolated microservices or services, and they combine together and generates your project. So let's understand one thing in WeDeploy that we give you as well. You have a database. So when you create an application, plug the database, you have only one database, but it can crash, or you can go millions and millions of users. What to do when this happens? You have to scale. So in WeDeploy, you click a button and say, I want 3 databases. We take care about replicating data, scaling, and doing all the rest. So for example, I have 3 databases that I gave the name data, so they are connected to the same project. And this theory applies not only for databases, it applies for any kind of API you create. So let's say database 3 instances. And my website grows. A lot of people access it. We divide your traffic between all of them automatically. Doesn't matter what is inside your API. We just forward this on the platform level. And if something crashes, people get redirected to the available servers. Meanwhile, WeDeploy recovers the server and redirects back the traffic. So this kind of feature, if you build by yourself, it's very complicated. And why can't we give you a layer that does all that for you? Okay, that's one of the things WeDeploy also do for any technology, NodeGH, Java, databases, anything. After you finish this, you already saw you have services, you can deploy your websites, you can save data, but how do I inject my code? How do I push the code my developers are working on to the cloud? First, you have to push to Git, because every project has a Git endpoint. It's option 1. Some people say, okay, I don't want to use your Git. Fine. You can use GitHub. Second, you can define a hook on your project to say, okay, when I push this code, I want to build my code, and then I want to run my code. So you have hooks, configurable hooks to do that. Very easy, one line of code hook. Then you can test your code if you want. When it's ready, you build it, the hook, then you pack everything, save it, and then we deploy it to the cloud. So in summary, that's the flow. Okay, maybe of you, I don't understand this. Okay, let me show you this in practice. So this is an example that I asked Zeno. Zeno, can you change the supermarket app? And he said, okay, what do you want to do? I said, change this. And then said, I'm going to record the video. Fine. Look how fast it is to a developer that I gave a call to change a code, and in a few seconds, it's going to the cloud. Watch this. First, Zeno went to the activities to make sure nothing happened, and he went to the GitHub, the console to change the code. He committed. It's a very normal command for developers to save you what you are doing. And then he's making a change. When he pushes it now, he pushes to the WeDeploy Git server. And watch this activities tab. And let's see. First step, we receive the build. We start the build. Build was successful. Deploy started, deploy successful. So in less than 2 seconds, you deployed an entire website with data and everything connected and scalable in the cloud. So that's pretty impressive. That's speeding up the way we do software in Liferay right now. And we want to give this to you as well. Okay, you are all set. Let's take a quick look in the supermarket app just to show you how this altogether looks like. You can see the source code as well in the GitHub/WeDeploy. So let's say supermarket.wedeploy.io. So that's the supermarket app. You have a login form. You can log in. You can log out. You can sign up, but I already have a login with Google. So I can click here. I can select my Google account, and then I'm logged in. Internet's a little bit slow here, but it's going to work. Okay, I logged in. So when I log in, I already posted a lot of products. It's basically a JSON file that I had images, I have description, blah, blah, blah. And because I just posted it, I can filter very easily here. Bakery, dairy, fruits. So how do you do that? If you look at the code, it's a very straightforward thing, because all I had to do is to point to the, let me find it, okay. So what I did here, I pointed to the data layer of WeDeploy here, and then I say, okay, I'm going to filter something. And I can say, okay, I'm going to filter similar products. I'm going to filter by tag, by category. So how does it work, filter similar products? You point to the data layer, you find .similar products to the description item, and that's ready for you. So for example, let's say here, what is it again? Here. So let's say here you want to filter products. Let me, do this. And then I want to filter products, let's see, like this. What is this? It's like a fruit in a wood table. If I click similar products, out of the box, WeDeploy search capabilities give you all the products that has similarities with this. And you didn't have to do any backend. You just call the data layer we provide you and the features we provide you. So this is only one of the features of WeDeploy, the data part. But we have more. So, for example, there is another nice demo that Zeno showed yesterday, which is the Spotify. I really like this one because in here, in the afternoon, we were able to create a clone of Spotify that has data. You can store your music. You can log in with Google. You can log out. You can create an account. You can play music. And you can play for real because you can save these MP3 and files inside your static hosting part. So this is actually real thing going on. And you build all that in hours. So that's incredible. And we want to provide this also for the platform, for Liferay, for business. So how will we intend to do that? So what about Liferay? Again, we can go to WeDeploy, create a project. And in this project, like events, like the demo yesterday, you can create a Liferay instance. When you deploy this Liferay instance, the idea is instead of forcing your Liferay, your application server in Java, to modify, to change to something drastic, you can horizontally augment your ecosystem. So let's say you have a Liferay instance, and you need WebSockets with real time. Of course, you can do WebSockets in Java, like the presentation Christina gave yesterday. That you deploy your SGI model with the WebSockets, fine. But if you cannot do it, if you wanted to have just a data layer with WebSocket, you go to WeDeploy. For example, this WhatsApp app, you can install Liferay inside an existing application that has other microservices. They all share a common layer with the authentication layer. And then you can use a web content with 3-4 lines of code to consume data from an endpoint, like a data endpoint in real time. You can also have an auth tool in Liferay, because we provide you all the auth tool APIs that you can use Liferay as a provider. That's been something we are working on in the infrastructure team to provide this as well. So imagine you have a Liferay instance with millions of users that connects to your LDAP users, but you have WeDeploy as a layer that connects to that users by consuming as a provider, and people can use your WeDeploy as to authenticate a phone, a watch, a device. So this is pretty cool. Okay, and then when you type messages, it shows up in Liferay in real time. So I would like to show you a little bit more of it. So that's why I would like to invite today Ilyan Peichev. It's a very famous Liferay guy, to show you an IoT demo that he created in WeDeploy. And it was impressive because he just created and said, hey, Eduardo, look this demo. And then he invited me to this project here. So if I go to my dashboard of WeDeploy.com, I can see he invited me to IoT the project. In this IoT project, he created a lot of things. He created an authentication layer, a hosting, NodeGH, and a database. So let me help you. You can tell them better than me. Go ahead.
Hey.
Okay, I thought you
Hello,
did something.
Guys.
Okay.
Nice to see you one more time. For the talk yesterday, I wanted to achieve something with IoT, and especially with WeDeploy. So what I created was a system for detecting iBeacons in range, which is part of something much bigger, which is called indoor location system. Right? A real one requires Wi-Fi, requires beacons, and the user is located inside a venue. A real system requires venue maps, requires radio mapping tool, and so on. But the key part is that you have to be able to communicate in real time with the server. And that's why I went ahead and tried to use WeDeploy for that purpose, right? Sorry. So such a system requires a mobile application, a real one, which I created with React Native. So it's working on Android and iOS. And you need a NodeGH server, which will show an application, the result of the visible iBeacons in range. So I'm going ahead and starting the server, the NodeGH server, and Eduardo, this one you can refresh. Yeah, so the final purpose is to, and the final idea is to show the all available iBeacons in range. Here with me, here with me, I have a few of those beacons, which are with between 3 and 5 meters. Which network you are? You have to be on the network.
I am on the network here.
Okay.
We are good.
I have to be on the same network too.
You are.
And the main idea is that I open here the program, and I have one beacon attached to this computer, to this machine.
Let me check your.
As soon as I click on this program, this beacon will be detected, right? And the information will be sent to WeDeploy in real time.
If this didn't work, we can connect your computer here because.
No, probably we have to see which IP. I am 161.
Yeah, close this real connection here, and then we open again. That's the best part of the demos. Okay. Now you have this. Check that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see now.
Do you see something? Give me this cable.
Yeah, connect to your computer is better. Sorry, guys.
This one I don't need.
This demo will make worth it, so let's wait a little bit, and then it's yours. Go ahead.
So
meanwhile, he's setting up. So who doesn't know iBacons? This is like a little piece of object that you can buy. It's very cheap. You can place, for example, in the corners of your room, and then you can know people who are close to this, people who are close to that. So what Ilian did was to connect these mobile phones, detect which part of the room you are closer to, and send to WeDeploy in real time. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
So this is a beacon, and I'm opening my program, and you see that it will detect the iBeacons in range, and it will start sending information to WeDeploy on time. And as soon as I get closer to the iBeacon, you will see that this color will change to dark green because I will become closer. And if I click on this beacon and enable it, turn it on, then it appears on my machine with immediately Eduardo just turned it to third one, and it appears in real time in WeDeploy. We can turn as many as we want, and each second those iBeacons are detected, and here we have the signal strength. You see, we know what is the distance between those beacons. So one of them I'm pretty close to one of them, and the rest are in different distance. And this is the first step to create an indoor positioning system. On top of that, once you have the system ready and you're able to detect iBeacons and Wi-Fi, you go, then you enrich your data, then you provide anchoring services, positioning services on top of that.
And if you go to WeDeploy to see how this is always happening, you can go to the database he just created here. Database. You can go to the database tab, and then you can see that all these coordinates he's capturing from these little devices is going to his phone and sending to WeDeploy in real time. So that's pretty cool because all he had to do is focus on the client side, and the server was all put together by WeDeploy. So now he has an authentication host in NodeGH and a database all connected, and he doesn't need to do all in Java or all in JavaScript or in Go. He picked the technology. So that's pretty cool. Say thank you to Ilian to build this demo. Thank you, Ilian.
You're very welcome.
Yes, so let me just connect here to finish it. Okay, guys, so that's the idea of WeDeploy. We want to provide you this layer, right, to build all that, to connect to Liferay and to augment your system. Why? Because we want to make you focus on what is important, is infrastructure, not these little details. Sorry, it's application, not the infrastructure, these little details. And if you have any question, let me know. I hope you understood the project, and that's a pleasure to be here again. Thank you very much.